because he always used to act when like defending.
I think it's like.
That's an interesting headline, an interesting play on words. Something brewing. Arsenal open 60 million transfer talks with Newcastle for one-way Bruno Guimarães after Chelsea's 117 million Morgan Rogers hijack. Smash the like button and let me know your thoughts. If I'm honest, I'm tired of saying the same things. So I'm going to try and keep it, before we carry on, as brief as I can, people. Do I like Bruno Guimarães? Yes. Do I think he would pitch in well with our existing midfield options, whether he's, rotating with Declan Rice or a partnership with Declan Rice, and you throw in World Cup and Euros and Premier League champion Zuba Mendinho and the youngest in Charles Miles and Lewis Skelly? I'm here for that. Do I like his passion? Do I like his tactical acumen? Do I like his ability on the ball? Him being able to play as a 6 or an 8. He can score from set pieces as well as take them. He's experienced and he's ready right now. I recognize finding value in the market. I recognize, wanting longevity. I also recognize what this current market is, people. And on one hand, I admire Arsenal staying to their principles of self-sustaining, self-financing, all of that kind of stuff. And I don't want us to deviate away from it. But you have to adapt to the times. Now, granted, the window, September the 1st, whenever it is, comes, and we might not have got Bruno Guimarães, Morgan Rogers, Bradley Bacola, this one, that one. But if we've got those characters or those profiles, I'm happy. I just feel when you've got like one approach, and I know we're flexible and all of that, but when you've got one approach, and you look at the present day where the transfers are ridiculous, it's inflated. Are you going to miss out? We missed out on Morgan Rogers. We missed out on Jeremy Monga. Are we going to miss out on Guimarães? So for me, for all the talk around bringing in Guimarães, do I think he likes us? Do I think we like him? 1 million billion %. But there's only two parties that you need to get in contact with or need to reach an agreement. That's Arsenal and that's Newcastle. And until we do that, and as much as I want stars, a couple ready-made players, because we got into the we won the Premier League, and bearing in mind we won the Premier League, fantastic achievement. It's one thing getting there, it's another thing retaining it. We got to the Champions League final. And I think everybody has seen, if you go all the way back to when we went out to Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals of the Champions League a few years ago, you need that X factor. We need us to evolve tactically in the final third. Individually, our attacking unit needs to, we need more from Eze, more from Gyökeres, more from Bukayo, more from everyone. Everyone's situation is different, but we need more. And we simply put, we need better players, man, in certain aspects. And we've done the bulk of our business. And what I mean by that is some teams need a full makeover. We just need a new lick of paint, a centre mid here, left winger there, maybe a striker, a little defensive reinforcement. Then you've got the Max Dowmans, Wanyery's developing. You keep Saka fit, he's laughing. Rice, you're laughing. Saliba and Magalhaes, you know where it is. And we can get to the next level. But that's my 2 pence and my spiel. Let me know your thoughts, people, as I continue to read this out to you guys. Apparently, and bearing in mind, we did hear Newcastle and Arsenal haven't officially opened any dialogue. It's all been via intermediaries and middlemen and agents and all of them kind of things there. But Arsenal opened direct talks with Newcastle over a deal to sign Bruno Guimarães. The Brazil international, we're going to get copyright here. The Brazil international, 28, has informed the Toon that he's keen to join the Premier League champions before the start of the new season. And as we're gearing into pre-season, it's time to get a move on. So the quicker these men get into the club, if that's the case, get up to speed with stuff. We're laughing, people. I hope the Brazilian boys in our team, Jesus, Magalhaes, Martinelli, have been doing their part to get this over the line. But we haven't learned anything new there. That Guimarães is allegedly keen to leave Newcastle and explore new opportunities. We need a centre mid. He's someone that was linked with us when he was playing in France and probably all throughout his time at Newcastle. Before now, all talks had been conducted via intermediaries, with Newcastle making it clear the midfielder was not for sale. Arsenal, though, whose reps have indicated that they would be willing to pay 60 million for the former Lyon man, but you're not going to grab him for 60 million. You could argue he's worth more this season to Newcastle than your 60 million because they've lost a couple of players, because he's their captain, because they're in a bit of a rebuild, and he makes their team better. So you can have your fair valuation, but what is fair? Do you think Chelsea wanted to pay 17 million, better yet, for Rodgers, or Elliot Anderson when they got when City bought him, or when we spent for Rice? You have to have that ability to overpay if you're really convinced. So for me, you're not grabbing man for 60 million. There's no point then. By all means, try. What is the absolute walkaway? Is it 70? Is it 75? Is it 80? Is it 85? What are Newcastle saying? Because they're going to make it hardball. You do have to be prepared to overpay. And, I'm no finance man, but we don't need much. So you should, it's not like we have to buy 11 players. If we're buying 3, 1, we should be able to pay a bit more, surely. No. 2, whether it's the kits we bring out, whether it's every week we're seeing new financial deals, new sponsorship, the Champions League money, we've got money to spend. I'm not saying be reckless, but this is the market, rightly or wrongly. And to be honest with you, Morgan Rogers, Bruno Guimarães, every player who's been sold or joined a new club for more than their market valuation. Football's a simple game. If they do what they're doing, that's got them in these conversations, if not better. Nobody cares about what was spent, people. However, the Magpies are standing firm in a bid to hold out for a bigger fee. It comes after Arsenal lost out to Premier League rivals Chelsea in a deal to sign Morgan Rogers. The Gunners had been in talks with Aston Villa since the end of last season, but would not go close to the 117 million asking price, which Chelsea quickly met to secure the deal. Arsenal are now looking to bolster their midfield and wide areas this summer. We haven't actually learned anything new here. A move for Matheus Fernandes, who joined Tottenham, was considered, though. Again, the asking price of 85 million was too high for the champions. Bournemouth Alex Scott had also been considered, though the Cherries are determined to keep the midfielder despite him turning down a new contract offer this week. Arsenal have also agreed a £34 million deal to sign Christos Zolis from Club Brugge, people. So what do we make of that? In terms of other news, people, Gary Jacobs of The Telegraph is saying we've held discussions over Alex Scott and Bawardi as well as Bacola. Our main target is Alvarez, and we're set to step up our interest in Bruno Guimarães and Ezri Konsa. All good players, all decent, would all give us something, but I see them as key assets at their clubs. They're not going to be sold cheaply. Everybody's situation is different. Alex Scott, I think Bruno Guimarães, if you stay at Newcastle, and let's just say for argument's sake, they want 100 million. Next season, they'll sell him for 60 odd. He's got 2 years left. Bawardi, you're allowed to pursue him as much as you want. If you ain't got 90 to 100 million, Leo have made it clear. Bradley Bacola, you're looking at 116, 117. If Rodgers was allegedly your top target, not who's better, if Rodgers was your top target and Bradley was an alternative, and you end up spending for Bradley Bacola and he goes on to be a great player and he signs for us, great. But then you have to answer yourself, what was the point around the whole Morgan Rodgers thing? That's assuming PSG want to get rid of him. He's got 2 years left on his deal. The rumors come out, they want to keep him. Alex Scott, clearly Bournemouth want to, they're in Europe. They've let a couple of players go. They want to keep man together. I do think the Ryans and the Alex Scotts and those kind of players, Krupi, they'll be available next summer. And if you want them this summer, you have to be prepared to pay that little bit extra. Konsa is more to do with our long-standing interest, his ability to play right back. We know Timber and White have injury issues. We know Gabriel's got issues with his knees and got injury issues, and the one of the summer really is around when we see Saliba. So they're all good names, but if you're not prepared to sit at the big boy table, it's a myth. I don't really care for this, people. I've spoke on it before, but I'll say the short of it. Josh Kroenke and Aston Villa owners spoke about Morgan Rogers. We are led to believe it could have been done for 80 to 100 mil. With what you've seen with Tonali and Elliot Anderson, it kind of flipped its head. We've put much groundwork believing that we could do it for 100. Obviously, we've left the door open. Chelsea are laughing, and it is what it is. We dragged our heels, and it said in around May, June, we could have had this wrapped up for 100 million. So that's where the frustration comes from. So yeah, we maintain our interest in Guimarães. We have Arsenal have a clear valuation for the player, and will only proceed with a deal if Newcastle are willing to negotiate within those parameters. Alternatively, Arsenal will look on to other targets. Might as well just go for other targets, like the profile of Guimarães and Morgan Rogers and Alvarez, because I know we're not on paying the going rate, if I'm honest. So yeah, we're set to make an improved offer. Big up hand of Arsenal. I've covered that. David Ornstein has said there's been there's been no movement around the Bacola links for everything. We're still linked with Nico Williams. Alex Scott has turned down the new deal and is still drawing interest from Chelsea, Manchester United and Arsenal. We're still being linked with Jonathan Stones. Again, there's only so many wingers you can link us with. So we've been relinked with Yan Diamande, and a talented young player in Duca has left and gone and signed for City. We bought him from Charlton. He's obviously kept it moving.
Always